Hi there, this is Popo, I hope you'll fine. Welcome back to the Matches miniature series, where we cover some in real life matches games that happen on real board against real people. Actually, the Friends of a Chess Club. So after the Genie series, I decided to introduce a new faction, so I could go with a lot of factions, but as they were beginner, I decided to go with the faction I guess is in the demo. These are the dragons. And the dragons, even I don't like the dragons just personally because that comes with endgames and I'm a very romantic player. This faction is still interesting because people can get this sense of getting up some material even if you're trading with the dragons. So interesting. I don't know, thinking that maybe with the dragons they would find some new ways to deal with the endgame, try to find some tactics, and I have to say that some of them were very creative. So there are a lot of games I want to show you, but I'm going to show only one, and this game is only interesting because of the end of the game. So let me introduce the two players. The players that plays with the dragons is actually the one which played in the Centaur episode as the Centaurs. So this is this guy which do some odd moves, going to see. And the guy which is playing the humans is again the guy which has been completely kicked out with the Tengus. So I'm so sorry for him, he's going to get bullied over the episodes. So let's cover this game. We have head to c4, why not, in English. Normally you want perhaps to play with d4 with the dragons, but why not? Pawn to d5, some kind of reversed Scandinavian, why not? But here Hydra to b3 is played. A very surprising move. I don't see the point of this, but perhaps try to get the Hydra very soon in the game. We have pawn captures, Hydra captures, and now this Hydra is very vulnerable against on the center of the board. You can get some bishop to e6 move, but black at this point thought this wasn't a good idea because that would block the e7 pawn, and maybe you want to open this pawn and try to get the bishop out. So this is why instead knight to f6 is played, and then we have something very common: drag to c3, pawn to e6, head to d4, knight b2 d7, head to e4, bishop to e7, wyvern to f4, and castle. And now I guess the experienced dragon player would say, okay, black is just hanging a pawn just there. Wyvern takes c7. Yes and no. The fact is, with this pawn which is just gone, the only move that is forced is just queen to e8. Because if you just capture, remember the wyvern rule, this just vanished. So you can't. So queen to e8 is forced. Head to e5 is played to kick the knight, so normally everything's fine, but now the humans decide to go for a big trade with knight to d5 targeting the wyvern. Of course, drag captures, pawn captures, Hydra captures, and then you're done 2 pawns. And you might say, okay, the dragons now are definitely winning. But yeah, but look closely at the position after knight b6. Here you have only 2 pieces, okay, with a lot of chain pawns, but all of this is doing nothing. The king hasn't castled yet, and as you see, the humans now have big diagonals over here and big activity. And at some point maybe you'll shift a rook there, you shift a rook there, you try to get rid of this wyvern with trades. Like, this is pretty good. So this is like some kind of gambit that comes with activity. So of course on this position you have to get back. So Hydra to b3, and now bishop to h4. I have no idea of bishop to h4. So what is the point of this move? Maybe you want to put the queen on an open file, try to get here, try to get here, or try to slide this way. I have no idea, because at the point as you would put this queen on e7, wyvern to d5 wins the piece. Because you can't capture, of course, and if you slide the queen, then it's going to snap the rook. So I really have no idea of what this move is doing. Anyways, we have drag to f3, trying to kick the bishop, and now bishop to e6, trying to attack the Hydra. And here with the Hydra, you don't have a lot of squares, because if you go on a dark square, now this knight would be likely to come on c4 to try to threat this Hydra, or maybe you would be kicked by some pawns, I have no idea, so you have to be careful. So Hydra to d3 is played, bishop to c4, why not? And now Hydra to e4, and you have to react, because now this bishop is attacked twice. So I guess pushing here on f5 would be completely stupid. And maybe going back to e7 would have done nothing. So on this position, we have bishop captures f1, which can be understandable by the fact that the wyvern is a pretty strong bishop, so you want to remove it, and if the king captures, then you have queen to b5 with check, and after the king moves, I don't know why, you're going to snap this b2 pawn and try to mess around on the queen side. So why not? So this is why that white decided to attack with the egg, and now this bishop is still attacked, and same way than before. Do you want to put your bishop here? Not at all. Because in this position, black decided to sacrifice the bishop on b2 to completely open the game. I have to say, why not? But I'm not convinced of like the fact that it would work. I see that if you capture with the king, your queen is going to go here, so you have to defend here. I don't even know how you're going to defend it, for example, perhaps with the egg, but then at any time the knight would go on d5, trying to kick the wyvern, so the wyvern would go to c6, and maybe the rook would shift, and now you would have a nice column. Maybe this is some kind of position like this that you wanted to reach, but not at all, because now the egg takes on f2. And I might say, this is hard to say who's better. I would say the dragons, because they have a lot of activity, and I would say the position is kind of good. This rook is completely stupid because of the wyvern. This queen is not doing anything, this rook is not doing anything. This knight, okay, is a very gorgeous knight because of knight to c4 at some point, but not that much. And of course, you're down 2 pawns and a piece as the humans. So they're not quite winning. But queen to b5 is played anyway, and you want to kick this b2 pawn. The only problem is now you give the initiative to white, and there is some kind of danger levels initiative with drake to g5. And now drake to g5 is just threats a lot of things here. First it threats some checkmate, but remember that at some point the drake can jump here and just threat an attack on the queen. So if the rook would be likely to come at some point on the e8 square or the c8 square, then this drake would be here, and that would be a fork. So you have to be very careful. But of course the biggest threat is mate. So maybe you have to push here on g5. But the problem is that you have to get something very interesting. What's the point? If, for example, you decide to play g6, that might save you. But then head to e7 comes on the board, and then how are you going to defend this? Because everything is occupied. You have only two squares, c8 and e8. Remember, if you play your rook here, then the drake comes, and this is just a fork. So not that easy. So this is why I would understand why black in this position played queen to b4 check, giving some check, a queen to c4 check, and then f5. Try to say, okay, like, just get out of here, and maybe I'll try to slide my rook and be better. The only problem is that that completely loses. Why? Because if you can just decide to take en passant. And with take en passant, what are you going to do? The same threat occurs. And if you say, okay, I'm going to slide the rook to be better, remember that this threat is still on the board with the drake. And if you say, okay, I'm just going to take it, the hydra would create another head, because you take two heads. So that doesn't work. So after en passant, I don't know what you can actually do. Taking here is just bad because you're going to be checkmated. So maybe you want to go here, pawn to g6. But here comes a very complex line that just loses for black. Like, you just have to push the head here on f7. That comes with check. You can try to capture with the rook, but okay, you will be up material anyways, and that will be cool for you. If you decide to egg out to your rook, then you're going to be checked this way. And then the only way to defend is to take the head, so it creates another head, but then the drake captures with check, so you have to capture with the queen. Then you're going to capture with the pawn, that comes with a discover check, so you have to capture with the king. Then you're going to put the hydra on g4 with check. You don't have any choice to slide the king on h6. You're going to put the wyvern on f4, that comes with check, and here the queen is forced to take. So you're going to take back, and here you're completely winning. But that didn't happen. Because here in this position, white went for an amazing move that just, I don't know, ended the game so quickly that I was very surprised of how far you can go with the dragons. So feel free to pause the video and find the correct move that just wins the game instantly for white. Well, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, I hope you all find out. The move is head to e7. And now you're just dead. What's the point of this? I'm going first to show you what happened in the game when actually black accepted the sacrifice. Because yeah, they sacrifice a queen and you say, okay, you just have only these pieces that doesn't do anything. So in the game, pawn captures on e4. But now comes head captures, promoting to an egg with check. And now, suddenly, everything changes. Because you can't capture this egg with the rook. Because when you capture the egg, just behind, it launches whelp that is moving one square diagonally. So that would check the king. So you can't. So the only legal move here in this position is to take with the king. And now this whelp is launched, and it controls these squares, and this is protected by the drake. So of course, the following move is y then to d6, checkmate. How amazing is this mate? Like, you just have 3 minor pieces and a very weak piece that comes with checkmate. That's just incredible. So let me see other ways to defend against this position. Because I tried to went for a lot of positions to see if there was something interesting that could be played. And I have to say, not so much. Not so much. For example, what can I try? If you try something like king to h8, like, okay, I would be concerned by this because this is okay, but okay, you're just going to take here, and you say, okay, after rook takes, that will be protected. But after rook takes, that creates a whelp. So now the queen takes. And now, whatever you do, you're going to face a lot of difficulties. This is very hard to defend, because at the time you would defend, you're going to take this move. So this is just impossible to succeed against this. You can try even to play something like this. But if you play something like this, now the egg takes on f5. And now it's come with checkmate now. Because here, after this, you can't take with the rook, because that would create that. So how you defend? You have to put something in the path. But there is nothing in the path. You have to put the queen, but the queen is going to take. And then this is the same problem than before. And I would say maybe you would be tempted to... Excuse me. Yeah. After this... After rook goes here... Rook goes here. Okay, you may be tempted to capture. And here, at this point, that creates a head and you just may be safe. That's not that easy. Because you're going to take this move. And now that's just X-rays this threat. And even, I guess there's something even more powerful here. Let me think a little. Let me just slide this. I guess maybe after this move, if you would be able to go here, maybe even go here with check, with a sacrifice. And then try to get here and try to get some mate. Maybe that would be even more powerful. Of course, the king would be forced to take. And I don't know about this kind of move. Let me try to see if there's something. I want to try this with check, so you have to capture this. After this, you go here with check, so you have only 2 moves. You can go here, you can go here. I guess here that wouldn't be so easy. Like, for me, the position is completely scrambling. And even more, there might be something even more interesting. Let me just cover one more time this line with this, because I just saw that this was the winning move. And after this captures, maybe just this move. No, it would lose the thing. So, what does work in this position? I really want to sacrifice the egg at this point. But maybe that would be the nicest move you can ever find on the chessboard. So anyways, let me just go back through the whole game just to show how quickly it was. So normal opening with a weird thing, then it goes casual. Then you have the entrance of the dragons on the territory with a big trade. Then the humans get some activity with a very weird bishop combination here I wouldn't understand. The queen gets in, and then comes the threat. Some checks happen on the board. And then this famous f5 happens, and now the high direct sacrifice the check, and the checkmate. This game is very lovely. So I guess this is the end of this video. I really hope you like this game. I really find this game gorgeous as hell. So going to see each other next time for another video again about another faction. So see you around there, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you there. Bye.